And we are live. Hey guys, this is the Stout Sportsman live stream. I'm Matt, and over here on the other side is Scott. How's it going, Scott?
I'm doing amazing.
Excellent. Basically, what we're going to talk about in this video, and pertaining to the Bassmaster.com fantasy fishing that we're going to be doing, the group that we have. This video, we're going to be talking about how to pick your anglers for their buckets. I believe there's 5 buckets to choose from, and basically once we get through that, we're gonna kind of talk about how we, how I and how Scott likes to pick, how we pick our anglers, what criteria. So, all right, I think Scott's gonna pull up the Bassmaster website here. Should be on the screen shortly. There we go. Now he is on the fantasy fishing tab from the main Bassmaster site. If you watched our previous live stream, that kind of is a tutorial basically on how to sign up on Bassmaster.com and then how to join the Stout Sportsman fantasy fishing group. And it also covers all the prizes and different stuff like that as well.
All right. So we're on the fantasy fishing homepage here, and we have our little set your buckets on our left-hand side here, and we are under the Stout Sportsman
group.
Well, we're in the Stout Sportsman group on the Stout Sportsman account.
Okay. Yeah. So where it says Stout Sportsman, that's actually going to say whatever your account name is.
Yes.
Right.
So every tournament, we are actually going to pick a team together during our shows. That we will see how they do.
I believe we're during those live streams that we're going to pick our team together for the Stout Sportsman, and then we're also going to pick our individual teams for our separate accounts.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you click on set your buckets, you will now go to this next page where we will have the tournament. The first one here is the Bassmaster Elite at the St. Johns River.
Yes.
And right here we have the time remaining. You have 29 days and 9 hours, 43 minutes, and 46 seconds as of this moment that we are recording. And
historically, I'm not sure how it is this year, but historically, I believe the cutoff has been midnight. Right, the midnight, the morning that the event starts. So if it starts on a Thursday morning, I think this starts at 6 a.m. Most likely, the cutoff will be midnight. So yeah, it's not like playing fantasy football where you can get your guys in whatever right up until kickoff. Now here, I'm pretty sure here you got to have it in by midnight.
Well, it says right here, rosters lock at February 6th at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. How is that? Because the event starts at 6.
I don't know. Weird. We'll see if that updates or something.
Yeah, that may just be an error or glitch or something.
It's probably supposed to be 12 a.m., right?
I would think so, yes. Yep. All right, regardless. Anyways, moving forward. So basically what you see a bunch of anglers there. Who's that first one? Matt Airy.
Yep.
So they probably, what I'm looking at on my screen is so small I can barely read them, but I'm assuming that they're alphabetical at this point.
Yes.
And then above that, there's
wait, they aren't. Well, they're alphabetical in the group.
Okay, gotcha.
Not. There's 88 anglers. They're not alphabetical 1 through 88.
Right.
They are broken out into groups A, B, C, D, and E.
Right. And basically to navigate from bucket or group to group, you can just click on that particular letter. You can see the A that's highlighted, B highlighted now. So that's fairly easy. And basically, if you want to pick whatever angler, say you want to pick Matt Airy, you just go all the way over to that green plus. You would just click plus, and then it's going to show up on your left. and basically that's going to be your bucket list for whatever anglers you pick. Now, if you want to switch him out, you're going to need to hit that minus first.
Either on your
Right.
roster or on here.
Right. Because if you go and try to hit plus on another angler before hitting the minus, it will not. It's not going to hold. So basically, just navigate through your A, B, C, D, and E groups. Picking your angler, and it's going to bring them all over to the left. And then also, do not forget your tiebreaker, your pounds and ounces. That's definitely a key.
I know for me, when I pick mine, I usually will pick what I think the daily number will be, and then multiply it by how many days are in the tournament.
Right.
So, like the Bassmaster Classic is only 3 days, so
Right.
we have to, only account for 3 days and not 4.
Yeah, there's been 1 or 2 times last year that I think I got caught off guard with a 3-day tournament instead of 4, and my tiebreaker pound and ounces was quite a bit over.
And when you set this, you'll hit edit, put in your numbers, and then hit save.
Yep.
And then if you want to change it, you just hit edit.
Yes. All right. Basically, what we're going to go over next is how we, myself and Scott, how we go about picking anglers for our own accounts. A couple bullet points here. A lot of times, you might have an angler that's maybe not very well known, but he's a local guy who maybe grew up on that fishery or river or lake or whatever it is, and he knows where to go, what to fish, no matter what time of the year it is. Local guys are always kind of a sleeper pick sometimes, and it's I don't know. I like to take a lot of local guys myself, definitely. Your thoughts on that?
They definitely have their place. I try to take at least one local guy for a tournament.
Right.
And a lot of times I will do local guys in the D and E brackets or buckets.
Yes, especially. Yep.
Figuring
usually your C and C, your D's and E brackets, those are the guys that aren't they're still great anglers, but they're not cream of the crop. So yeah.
Those lower end buckets, the D's and the D and E especially, if you can nail your local angler in that group that does well,
yes,
you're definitely going to do a lot better, especially if you pick somebody that nobody else is picking.
Right, and you can actually see that over right next to the plus for each person. It'll say own percentage, and basically from everybody that's made picks already on, I'm not sure if it's by group or I think it's everybody in general on fantasy. That'll give you a percentage of how many people have picked them. So you kind of got to take that into account too.
I believe it is actually by group.
Okay.
So if you go own percentage,
mm-hmm.
If you add up those numbers, you're going to get you're going to get 100%. I think pretty close to it.
Hopefully.
And also a little tip is to click on own percentage, and it will actually sort it for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically any of those there, the rank points, top 50s, whatever, own percentage. That's all gonna put them in order. Yep.
So my little tip on own percentage is I tend to shy away from whoever's picked the most.
Yes. Most of the time. But say somebody's, and rarely do you see anybody ever get picked more than like 40% or so. But the thing is, if 40% of the people pick that guy and you pick kind of somebody that you have a hunch about and they flop and that 40%er does good, then you're way behind. So you kind of gotta take the risk versus reward there. Okay, we went over local guys. second on my list is studs, and by studs I mean guys that are gonna do well pretty much anywhere they fish, no matter what time of the year, what the weather conditions are. It doesn't matter. They're always those top, 20, 25 guys, just event after event.
Yeah, no, I know last year was very last year with the shake up with a lot of the guys going to MLF.
Yes.
We got a lot of new names. So
Yes.
last year was definitely more wide open as far as
Oh, for sure.
who the studs are.
Hmm.
I think last year gave us a good idea of who the studs will be this year.
Hmm.
But I think also it's still the Wild West as far as
oh, sure, absolutely.
As far as guys making names for themselves.
Yep. Next up, and this one is really key, and this involves a little bit of time and research, but their previous performances. So I mean, you're talking anywhere from the previous year to 5-10 years back. You want to find, so this is at St. John's River. So basically you want to go back through previous elite tournaments. It doesn't have to be elite, could be an open, it could be anything, or FLW or MLF. You want to see the guys that have performed well on a regular basis at that fishery, and that's going to give you a good basis of how they might do at this tournament. So that's another thing that I definitely look at.
Yep. I like already for this first tournament at St. John's River. I believe that was Rick Klum that won last year.
It could be. Yeah, I think he did win one.
So you want to look at those guys plus guys that fish like them. So
right.
I know like the St. John's River is down south, obviously, to start the season. So you're probably going to see more flipping and punching and that kind of fishing. So
right.
Some of your northern guys, it's like Seth Fighter. He may be somebody you want to shy away from. Although he is good at flipping, punching and flipping.
Right.
Some of those northern guys, that excel more in like the clear water, the deep clear water may not be guys you want to pick for a certain tournament.
Yeah.
Likewise, I'm not going to pick Rick Klon when they go to the St. Lawrence River.
Yes, that is correct. All right. Next for me is the time of year. The time of year. So I mean, basically, the early events for the Elite Series is going to be mostly venues, fisheries that are down south, obviously, because the weather's going to be more conducive. And as the season goes on, then that's when you start getting St. Lawrence River. You get whatever other lakes are up north here that they fish. Cayuga last year, a couple of the other ones. So
I believe, is it Champlain they're going to?
Lake Champlain, yeah, right between New York and Vermont. Yep.
I can't remember all the lakes they're going to this year.
Yeah. Also is weather conditions, because you can kind of follow some of the guys and how they're doing during practice. The couple of days before the actual tournament starts, and they could have optimal conditions, and then you kind of got to watch the weather forecast for that fishery too, because if the weather changes drastically, they could have done fantastic in practice, and then all of a sudden their game plan is just shot out of the water.
Weather is definitely tough when you're picking the teams, because how quick weather changes.
Yes.
So it can be tough to look into weather, but you can also plan ahead and see what it's going to be. But if you don't really trust weathermen,
right. I don't know how any of them still have jobs, but beside the point. Do you have anything else? I mean, that was I think the 5 things that I had written down.
I would say my last tip would be to make sure to add your team as soon as it opens up, so that you have a roster.
Yes, because there's been times when life happens and you forget to enter a roster. I know it was either last year or the previous year. I did pretty well, and I forgot to put in one of the weeks, and it just you really don't have a shot at winning at the end.
Yep.
So you got to be diligent and keep on top of that. Definitely put in your best guess lineup to start with, and just go from there. At least you have something in.
Yeah. I usually will put my lineup in early and then usually tweak it. The own percentage actually does change as people pick.
Mhm.
So as people put their picks in, the own percentage will change. So that may affect who you want to pick. If you pick really early,
Right.
you may be in there before anybody else picks really.
Mhm.
And then you may see that you don't want to pick certain guy just because everybody else decided that they were going to hop on the bandwagon also.
Right. Another thing I forgot to mention too, on I believe it's under the fantasy fishing tab, but a couple of the guys that are contributors for Bassmaster.com, pundit picks or whatever, there's usually 3 or 4 for every event, based off of how guys are practicing the couple days before, and it's good to read through some of them too, because sometimes they might have information. They're doing more research than I probably am, because I'm not going to put hours and hours of research in for just something like this. For those guys, that's their job. So
Yep, right here, the trending.
Mhm.
You'll see the St. John's 2020 pundit picks.
Yeah, there's already a couple up that I saw the other day. Yeah, so definitely read through them, and they give you kind of their main pick, and then they kind of give you like a dark horse or sleeper pick as well.
All right.
Got anything else for us, Scotty?
I think I'm pretty good. I don't want to give away all my secrets, at least not in the first episode, huh?
Oh, oh, so you're holding out on the viewers, are you?
Just put it up here in the sleeve.
Right. It's a nice shirt you got there too.
Stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some more T-shirts made up. We need to. Maybe we'll go with a different type of material shirt, something like that. But we need to get a couple more shirts made up or something. Maybe get some of those nice, the fancy fishing shirts.
The jerseys.
Yeah, there you go. Put our wannabe sponsors on there.
I was thinking of actually getting a hoodie, but
Mhm.
most of the time when we're out fishing, it's too hot for hoodies.
Yeah, well, most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
All right, you want to we'll wrap this up? Unless
Yeah.
you got anything else to add, I'm good.
All I have to add is like our videos, subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Come and join our Stout Sportsmen fantasy fishing group on Bassmaster.com.
Mm-hmm. Throw some comments our way. If you guys have any ideas that you'd like to share on how you plan on picking your guys, or how previously, if you do fantasy, how you picked them in the past.
Yeah, we're definitely planning on doing these as live shows, so people
Mhm.
can join and comment and be part of the show.
Yeah.
I would really appreciate some feedback from our viewers, and be able to be part of our show to make it more interesting. I mean, I don't mind sitting here and talking fishing with you, but it'd be nice to have a few more people to join.
Yeah. We don't want to spend all our time talking about fishing. We want to be out fishing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a lot of fishing this year for sure.
Good.
Yep.
I'm planning on it also.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up for us. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and don't forget to sign up and make your bucket picks. This is Matt for Stout Sportsman,
and I am Scott, also from the Stout Sportsman. Thank you for joining us in our StoutCast. It's been a pleasure making these videos now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, take care. We're out.